Welcome back to Imagination Station Network. I feel like I constantly try and get a beginning part of the thing, but that's how it is. That's where it is. Anyway, so welcome back. This is another brand new episode, and today we are very fortunate that we've managed to squeeze the top fruit of Jaguar 82, and we've managed to get him here on the couch because you're a busy man. So I'll let you introduce yourself, Ian James Cowan.
Hi, I'm Ian. I'm an artist with Jaguar and been with Jaguar ooh,
Yeah,
2,
for
three
you.
years, something like that now. And yeah, we'll just keep expanding what we're doing, and it's good to be part of the team.
So I'm going to expand on that, man. This is an exciting time. Like we're always like passing ships in the night because Ian's busy, man. Ian's a busy man, but I've only ever seen one of these type of people on TikTok or social media. Somebody that can do it all, and I really, really mean that, man. It's the biggest compliment I can give somebody. The fact is that he writes, he plays music, he writes our music. He's up for getting a costume on and being on there. He's running a massive IT business for a Japanese company. He goes in his room and he paints all different kinds. There's loads of stuff. Set up the equipment here for this, and he's got busted fingers because he's been playing the bass in a band. Like I say, a guy who does it all and is humble about it. Just tell it like I know what I want him to say, but it's not my interview. So just tell us a bit about your creative journey and how you ended up to here.
Oh, good lord! Uh, I think I don't know if I started creative. I started inquisitive. I was an inquisitive. I was the kind of child who would stick your fingers in the electric sockets to find out what really happens, and then, okay, I know what that's how.
We don't advise that.
Don't do that, kids. So I was that kind of person that um, I would take things apart because I just had to understand how things worked.
Yeah.
And there's a funny story when I tried to make an electric guitar. So I built a guitar with my dad when I was about 8 years old. Obviously, he didn't let me have sharp tools and things, but built the first guitar and I thought it was brilliant. It was probably absolutely shit. Um, but I loved it because I built it with my dad. My dad is a carpenter. Um, and one day I got it in my head I wanted an electric guitar. So I was that, and I think I was eight or nine. And I thought, well, how does it work? And I thought, well, it's got to be electric's got to be in there somewhere. So I fished in me sort of my mum's sewn tin. I got two needles, and this was a classical guitar. And on classical guitars, your top three strings are metal wound. So I stuck the needles in there and thinking, okay, that's fine. And chord sockets, not like the kettle ones, but the ones with the two
Oh, aye,
prongs
aye.
on. So me thinking, oh, right, this is how it works. So I had a hold of the two needles and put this on.
Jesus.
And then next thing I knew, I found myself over the other side of the room, and it was like, yeah, right, that's not how it works. So um, I'm that kind of person who I would go and I would discover and find out the wrong way to do
Yeah.
things and the right way to do things. And I was just naturally inquisitive, and I think from sort of my grandparents, my gran was a pianist. My granddad, he was into arts. Um, so I think I somehow got it somehow. My cousins, so my dad's brother, his two daughters were twins like me, and my brother were twins, and Lynn and Colette, and they were both artists as well.
Wow.
So somewhere it kind of came in, and I started really with music,
Mm-hmm.
and but building, so the creative aspect of building. I want to know how you build a guitar, as well as learn to play it. And that started at the age of 8, and even probably younger, but I can't really remember. But I remember my mum telling us I was fascinated with motorbikes
Mm-hmm.
and police motorbikes, and my mum said to us, I used to sit and draw every detail of an engine on a motorbike, and I used to in painstaking detail. So I was very detail oriented, and I think that's kind of where some of my OCD comes from. And little details, and I started doing that, and then I started getting into doing wildlife art.
Wow.
So I would do particularly birds of prey were my favourites, and I would do painstaking detail, uh, and that's how my mind works, and that goes back same thing with the music and sticking fingers in sockets kind of thing, and is this water hot? Is this water cold? Is fire hot? Um, there's a story about the fire, but I don't know if I should say it on camera. But
Hey, it's a safe place here.
okay,
It's an over 18 show.
I actually remember this, and I was younger than 8, and on a weekend, and I must have been 5 or something like that. Me and my brother used to go to stay at my grand's house. I shouldn't say this. Anyway, boys being boys, you get up to sort of mischief and things like that. So my gran in her house, it's one of these miners' cottages in Sunderland. It was actually behind the Pyrex factory and Cirencester Street or something. Anyway, sort of in the classes parlour, sitting room, one room where everybody congregated, open fire, and he and me brother.
Do you know where this is going?
No, you probably don't want to, but we had a pissing competition.
Oh my god! In the fire?
Into the fire. And all the things sparks and all the cords were coming out and sort of marks on the floor, and then sort of my gran came in. We weren't doing it at the time, but she said, "What's all this?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And that's when we learned about you put a fire guard on the fire. So yeah, that
Poor
was
Gran's fireman.
yeah. So this is the kind of person I was. And that's how I started.
See if he's ever in any open flame fires now, man. I'm like, keep him away from that. Poor peanut.
Yeah, and then we used to try and push each other down the stairs on a rug kind of thing, and see if you could get to the bottom of it, and it's like broken bones and things like that. So it was this kind of thing. So I was always experimenting. Brother's a musician as well, keyboard. So it started very much with music, inquisitive, very detailed drawing, and that just progressed. And as I learned more, and the one thing I like to do is learn. I study, even now, I study everything. I study techniques, I study how and what other artists do. It's the same with musicians. When you learn to play, you study how somebody's playing, their techniques. And it's all part and parcel. Art and music's very much the same. And sorry, I lost my track there. So yeah, as I learnt these different techniques, I started to use an art term, loosen up, go away from the detail and more expressionistic. And then I was just relentless doing music and art. And I was so focused on that. When I was at school, I spent more time than anything in the art department. I used to practically live there. I had an accident when I was younger, on here, which ended up I couldn't do PE for about a year. So when PE class was on, I would be in the art department, doing all sorts of things, and then experimenting with different techniques. So I was just given free rein by the art teacher, Mr. Farney. Just sit at the back, you did, and I did all sorts of things, lino, screen printing, you name it. And I loved it.
Brilliant.
And I absolutely loved doing that, and that's when I found I was in my element. And then out of that, oddly enough, I didn't study music at school. I studied music myself.
Self-taught.
And I did my first grade exam. Was I 12 or 13, something like that? And it was at the University of Sunderland, or what was the Polytechnic then. And I always remember my very first sort of music exam, and it was in the old part of the university. Uh, this old kind of churchy kind of feel, wood panelled walls and all the rest of it. And walked into this massive room, and there was a desk over there, and it felt like it took ages to walk to, and there was a chair in front of it, and you were on your own, and there was an examiner there, and I was like, oh, shit myself. And I always remember when I walked in, the examiner was there, and he was stirring a cup of tea with a Kit Kat. I was like, sit down, and I was like, so I sat down on this like little chair. Now, when you it was classical guitar, when you do your grades, and you've got like a little footstool for your foot. So I just sat and had the guitar on this leg, and I was just about to start, and he just said, stop. He says, footstool. I say, oh, So I just completely threw, isn't you supposed to have it on here and assume the position, so to speak. That passed. But it was like, yeah, those kind of situations. I liked getting into situations where it's like difficult, because I think that's where I thrive, and it's like what I do with my art now. I like to find things difficult and a challenge, because that's where I tend to do better.
You're a problem solver. I have noticed you like to solve the problems.
Yeah.
But like every other artist,
I like to come up with solutions.
We moan about it, but when we're in it, we're good at it.
Yeah.
Like I say, man, I only see people like that on social media that are able to turn their hand to everything, and it's just, for us, man, it's you're an absolute asset so quickly, man. You came along. I remember when you came along. I'm sure that was about 2.5, 3 years ago, and you came along to one of the Sunday art classes in Berwick, and I was like, you need to go away. You're too good for that. You're too good to be here without sitting standing next to me. And in that short space of time between then we went painting outside the
Ice cream van.
RNLI, remember?
Yes.
And then we got a phone call from Paxton to ask us if we'd go there, and we went straight over there. And the rest is history with day, man. Your art's changed in the space. I like that, having somebody else who is interchangeable with the art. It's not the same as every day doing the same thing, because you don't get a watch when you paint. When we came to Paxton, when you were painting outside, you adapt to your own pressure. I've never seen that in work. I never. Probably going to eat my words. I never really compare myself to anybody, but knowing that there's somebody else there who paints in pressure, and that's a weird one to add in there. But like the stuff that's happened to you with the paint falling that day, and then we came through, and then it was just straight back into it.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd have been like looking for every excuse to go, maybe just get home. Maybe just have an ice cream and go home. Right?
Yeah, but I like a challenge, and I'd had a break from art then for 20, 25 years, maybe more, probably longer, near a 30-year break, doing the odd bits. My daughter, when she was growing up, I'd draw this and draw that kind of thing.
Guiding us.
But I'd gone into IT as a career. By accident, I went into IT because I'm an engineer by trade, and I somehow fell into IT. I think the company I was working for as an engineer, I was working on what's called compressors, big engines, move air. They used at the shipyards, and in the company's premises, they're getting the first computer system in, and somehow I was roped into it. And that kind of spurred my IT career. So that at that point, that's when the art started to take a backseat, the music started to take a back seat because I was prolific in the 80s with music and playing in bands um, and then as I got into IT, it all kind of came away because it just consumed your whole time.
Yeah, work.
And then when I met you, and that's got us back into me art
But very
again.
quickly, man, like even the conversation we're having here, I think the viewers will know, like, when we're run about you, like, we don't spend an awful lot of time together because we're busy, we're crossing the night, but you bring a calmness. And for a guy who's like 500 miles an hour, but that calmness it transfers over. So it's like you say when you come up and like, oh, why am I on the show? Because you don't know that. You don't know that you're able to give this calmness to people.
Right, I
And
didn't know.
and it transfers because look at your students. You get about 20 students, and every single one of them at the Paxton House Landscape Artist of the Year is like, when are we getting more classes? If that
Mm.
doesn't tell you that you have something that people want, man, I don't know. And I have to keep them away from you because you were out painting, and I know what it's like when the same question keeps going. But the biggest gift I can do is to show you and go, listen, man, you give away so much more. And even now, I'm trying to stop you from giving your paintings away because so quickly you've built up a fan base. And if that doesn't tell you you're doing something that you've always meant to do, I don't know. And just to give you an idea, like Ian used to make guitars. He's got like 50 guitars in his house, and we went to a guitar shop and we went there and we paint guitars. And I painted one for Lewis Capaldi, Paolo Nutini, Jordan O'Keefe, Gerard, Roe Bunt, and we've got other big names coming. But Ian at the first couple would tune them in, but quickly it would seem to me that biggest compliment you can do is bring an artist on board with something that both of you are passionate about. I'm passionate about being able to being able to give something else to somebody who's
Mm.
enjoying their journey. It's not about joining and stealing the limelight because that's theirs today, not ours.
Yeah.
But you get it. Out of everybody that I've interacted with, you get it. That they're more than just guitars. They're a piece of us and the company that we've got going forward, man.
They're a perfect combination of
Aye.
music and art because I mean you can't get any closer
No.
with doing the art on the guitars and
That
it's,
last one, man, was like, did you see read some of the messages? That tells you that the stuff that we're doing and what you've done is right on the button.
mm,
That was Gerrit is he's I hope that's how you pronounce your name. The Irish boy is like he's had a life. If you watched any of his journey,
yeah.
and all of a sudden he's put in that song, man, I was crying. That was my mum's
It
favourite
was a
song,
perfect song for us because I mean he was dedicated to us and
and for
we're
his
from
dad and
Scotland and for
his
his dad
parents.
and he nailed it straight away and
Mm-hmm.
the guitar sounded beautiful. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest, but that's more to do with the player than anything else. It looked great, and
Yeah.
so we did a really good job. And Roe Byrne, who's out gigging with his guitar, bless
Yeah.
him, he's out gigging with it, and he tags Jaguar in every time, which is like
But
good lad.
even when we went to see our friend now Jagat 82 through what we've done with is Jordan
Jordan,
O'Keefe.
yeah,
That was great to see you and yeah, okay, we were rushed for time because we were busy, man. It was like we were all. I think everybody thinks when we go these trips that it's all fun. Okay, we got a couple of Chinese reviews and it was the best Chinese I've ever been to, by the way.
mm,
But to see you doing your thing, what you don't realise is that I'm nervous in these situations. I look overly confident, but I'm nervous. And I said to Jan on the way back, is like, when we went there, nothing went wrong.
no,
We were squashed for time, but nothing went wrong. And that's a testament to you because I am all over the place. The ferry or the other stuff, but like I don't know if I can like you inspire stuff, man. Like I'm in awe of the stuff you do. I'm a fan. I'm a fan as well as a friend, but I can't take you through and show you, but Ian's room when I take people in and they look and they're like, oh, I'm not. I'm going to try and no swear in this podcast because I'm quite calm today because it's Ian that we're interviewing. But went in there yesterday and somebody's like, wow, 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 and then all of a sudden I got a wee message saying, can we buy that painting? No buts, no buts. Can we buy that painting? Again, I'm not on here just to show you that that's a testament to you because you put your trust in me by not like obviously stuff we can't discuss on camera because we're still working through things. But you put your trust in me, and it's like people come. But it's got nothing to do with me. It's got absolutely nothing to do with me. It's to do with your
Right.
talent that you've got when people are coming. But now you're getting the credit that you should be getting for your stuff. I don't know. I went on a mad tangent there. You can tell Ian's a humble guy that goes and does his thing, and he'll never moan about doing anything because you know where that goes. You know that they're no. Maybe one time you told me to stop getting away stuff for free, and I get to say no to you to stop getting stuff away for free.
Yeah.
We can't help it, man. What I'm trying to say is, and I'll stop talking, is the fact is you know it's not about getting stuff away for free. You know how much it means to an artist. I get emotional just to even think, but they get to join the journey.
Yeah.
You've helped me see that no everybody's nice out there with that. And so it's my turn to bring the biggest gift that I can to you. And you know some of the stuff that's coming, but you also don't know the other stuff.
Mm.
And that's
Yeah.
up to me to make that happen because I value every single team member that we've got and what we do.
Yeah.
Because it isn't, it's not easy.
No, it's not, and you get it's the way I work is still how I probably was when I was a kid. So I'll go through. I mean, you know what's like in my studio, and I've just got
40 things at a time
There's-
through there. Freaks me out.
yeah, and I get an idea, and then I've got to get the idea down. I might not finish it there and then, but I've got to get the idea down, and so I've got 30, 40 pieces more
Yeah.
on the go at any one time. As long as I've got the idea down, then I'll figure out how I'm going to do it. Because once I've got the idea down, I could change my mind so many times of how I'm going to paint that or finish it or what techniques I'm going to use. And sometimes I'll experiment with lots of different techniques. There's a big one in there, Michael Stipe from REM, and that's a big painting. And that was done kind of a spur of the moment thing. I just had to, I like doing portraits. I love portraits, but not like your standard classical kind of portraits.
Yeah.
So I like to do things a little bit different, but I always go for realism. But sometimes it's a bit of an abstract realism. It looks real, it could be real, but it's not real. I probably should have brought that through. It might have been a good one to explain. But that one, I was working in here one night, and I knew I wanted to do it. I'd started a smaller Michael Stipe on a monotype, and I wanted to do an experiment when he went through these blue stripe phase and what's the frequency, Kenneth. And he's got a great face to paint.
Yeah.
And I like people with good faces to paint, not your typical like old man creases and that, but sometimes with
See if I've got any.
with character. Now Michael Stipe has got, without saying too much, but his eyes are ever so slightly not straight, if you see what I mean, and his eyeballs are ever so slightly not straight, and that's the kind of thing you don't notice. But if it was done where his eyes were perfect, that's not quite right.
Yeah.
And it's little things like that that I look for. So when I was experimenting with that, and I just had a canvas on the easel, a big canvas, and I thought, how am I going to do this? So I started off with a palette knife, and I did an abstract painting, no faces, nothing like that, and it was just abstract knife work with different colours. And then I thought, yeah, that's how I want to do it. And then I painted Michael Stipe over the top of that in a single colour. So it was all mono, apart from his eyes, his irises, which I did in his blue colour. And it kind of worked. But that's the kind of thing I'll constantly do this, and I constantly experiment, which is why I've got lots of things on the go at any one time. Because then
man, it's like, I think that's an artist's prerogative, isn't it?
It is, and then you figure out how you're going to do it.
I think as well, like Ian's got this wee saying that he says to all his students, like when you get t-shirts made up for next year, any students watching this, just remember, just prompt us for them. So Ian says, it's deceptively easy. So it's the ongoing joke in the classes
It
that
is, yeah.
everybody's like, all the WhatsApp group, it's deceptively easy. But when you whittle it down, like you've seen me under pressure, like me and Ian went to Whole Island to paint, and I was under pressure that day because I'm easily distracted, but I also I think for me, I always think you're a hindrance to somebody because like we shouldn't have like hierarchy. Somebody's good in that, but there has to be somebody who's really good at that, and I'm really good at other stuff, and we've got somebody
Yeah.
else who's really good at other stuff, and it's like there needs to be that level. So I always introduce Ian as like the top of the tree because he is, as far as my eyes, man, he's the top of the tree of what Jaguar 82 is trying to, or sorry, is achieving, not trying to achieve. So the art is different for each individual artist that's involved is different, but he transfers that to his students, and the students are now developing their own version of Ian, and yeah, you don't see it unfolding. Like they weren't there, like you guys, the students who came to Paxton House, Jaguar 82 landscape artists here, you weren't there because of me. They were there because of you. I had other people there, but they're there because of you. That's what I'm trying to say is, like, you don't see because you're a humble guy. We don't like compliments. I get all that, but being on this podcast and being able to show you and go, look, this is what I see. I see it. I don't want to see everything, but I see everything for a bigger picture, and I go, that's nice to see. It's nice to walk about. It's nice to hear the compliments. It's nice, do. There's no malice and there's no jealousy in Jaguar 82 for
No,
people.
absolutely not. It's well, a lot of it, and like we say as well, it's teamwork because everybody does their bit in it,
Mm-hmm.
and we do works, um, which is shared,
Mm-hmm.
and we all do a different bit on the same
Collaboration, man.
artwork, collaboration artwork, and they work really well,
Yeah.
and everybody does the bit in their own way in it, and you can't decide how that's going to
Mm-hmm.
finish because everybody does their own bit in their own way. It's good to do
Mm-hmm.
um, collaborative works like that.
I think,
Um,
like for yourself, everybody could learn a lot for you. The only thing you've not got is an awful lot of time. But when you have
Time,
people
yeah.
in front of you, you give them all of the time. It's like I've watched it. Like when we come and see it, it's like again, that's not a skill level everybody gets. And I'm always like, when I'm out there getting the autism and ADHD upgrade, man, I never got any of that either.
Mm.
My patience sometimes goes down, but you need to can never tell because
Yeah.
unless you're in that moment, and so it's my job, and it is a job to show you going forward that I'm going to try in these moments to go and show you and say, listen, did you know that happened because you did that, and that? Because that's what this team is. Is the word didactic. Didactic. I've heard that word this week and I'm using it. I'm using it in the podcast. Didactic.
It's a good word, yeah.
I don't know what it means, but it's good. And we've got a lot of stuff coming. So I'm keen because you have an awful lot of knowledge to give. But so let's just say there's somebody out there that's like, how does the person out there who's Ian, because I always say they're all behind the back of the couch, and the idea of this podcast is to show a bit of how we got here. So how would you? What's the best advice if you were to rule into three? You can do more if you want. The three best bits of advice for another Ian that's out there, because there's loads of them. They just don't know it yet.
Well, the first bit, the first bit of advice, and it's the advice because I'm not good in crowds. I'm not good. Like this is not me. So the first bit of advice I would give is just completely ignore what's going on. Ignore the voices. Ignore
Aye.
and
Easier
ignore.
said than done, that one, isn't it?
It is, but it's so valuable, and
Mhm.
you've heard me say this many times. It's just ignore negativity.
Yeah, that
Absolutely,
is.
that is the the probably the only bit of advice you can give to anybody who wants to get on and do anything. Ignore negativity, because that is the one thing that stops. And I had a lot, negativity. I was, school when I was a kid and that, and I didn't enjoy school particularly. Um, but I just kept myself to myself, and I knew what I wanted to do, and I just did what I wanted to do, and I just ignored what was going on around us, and noise, and people saying you can't do it. And so the first thing is ignore negativity. Absolutely 100%. Doesn't matter what you do, because that's the one thing that prevents you and keeps you down, and is intended to keep you down. The next bit of advice I would give is experiment and find something which is hard. Not hard, but a challenge.
Challenge.
Because if you don't challenge, you don't learn. And never be frightened. I'm at my age and still learning. I still learn now, and I still study now. An awful lot I study, and I like to study, and I like to look at how things are done. So do things which are that little bit challenging, because that's actually, when you do it, you've got a greater sense of achievement, and then that spurs you on to do more again. If you do the same thing over and over again, you actually get in a rut, and it's actually not creative at all. So always look for something which is which is challenging. So rule out the negativity, look for something challenging. And the last thing I would say is make sure you enjoy it. Because if you do not enjoy what you're doing, whether it's art, music, whatever, it's a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
And you're doing it then for other reasons, and you shouldn't do that. Because at the end of the day, it's your own creative journey. So you've got to absolutely enjoy what you're going to have challenges. You're going to come against and think, why the hell did I start this? And like, God, this is just mad, rubbish. And you're going to hit things like that. It's like paintings go through an ugly phase.
Yeah.
So when you're doing these things and it's a challenge, it goes through an ugly phase. But you've just got to, and there's another one which I say to the students as well, is trust the process.
Yeah.
There's a process that some people expect it to be great straight away, and it never is. It never is.
Yeah, I'm still one of them.
You've got to trust, and sometimes it can be quite a quick process. Sometimes it could be a longer process, but you've just, as long as you've got the vision, and I suppose that's the last thing. The fourth thing would be have vision. Totally have vision. Like when I do my art, I've always got a vision. Like that's how I'm going to do it, don't know, but I've always got a vision of that's what I see, and that's why I probably start loads of things. So negativity, rule it out. Challenge, totally enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
The three things, but the first, absolutely beyond anything, ignore negativity.
Also, I'm going to add another two in. So this is Ian's James rules that he's got. Tidy your room. Came in and tell me to tidy my room, man, but
then you said how?
Your room? I need clear instructions. I need to be like. So anyway, he went away and I tidied my room. I just went for it because I'm a messy artist. No, not quite messy, but I like a space where everything is. And what was the second one? Tidy your room and wash your brushes.
Yeah,
I've sacrificed, man. There is brushes over there that could have been rescued, and I didn't, man.
You've got it. These are your tools, so it's like a carpenter. He'll keep his chisels sharp, and it's just these are your tools.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd hate to think how many brushes I've got, but again, that's an experiment, and I'll get lots of different brushes and I'll try them, and I end up with just a bunch that it's probably taken us 500 or 600 brushes to find, right, these are the ones I'm going to use for this. But again, that's an experiment in finding it, that they might look like good brushes, but it doesn't quite work for you for what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So, but you've got to look after them, whether you're going to use them or you're not. But absolutely look after them. It's keeping your chisels
I'm
sharp. is
terrible,
the
man.
analogy.
That day, man, I came in and I'm like, there's another one sacrificed because I've not washed it, and
Yeah.
it's just hardened, and there ain't no way it's getting fixed. So, aye. So that's just a wee James thing. Then you'll see I've cracked out the new brushes, and I've had them
Yeah.
for 2 years, and now they're out.
And
And I've
I've
only
got
used
exactly
one.
the same brushes.
Aye,
Yeah.
I've only used one though. I'm working on it, man.
They're actually really good brushes.
They're soft, aren't they?
Very good.
But
They're excellent for acrylic paint.
do you know my problem? My problem is I didn't have anything. I've got stuff that you've seen me do it. I buy brushes that are really good and I give them away.
Yeah.
I'm not used to having nice things, man, but you're helping me slowly. Like, no, you need to have them for painting. But aye, and we're not going to, this isn't going to be a long podcast because I want to get back on and do something else with you. And I know you're busy and you've got stuff through in the in your studio. But aye, it's nice to be able to share these things with people, and it's
Yeah.
no a sob story. What before we Jan came along and you came along, it was just me. We've got another guitar now that we're gonna that's just about to go out to somebody who.
That's just final coat receiver
Aye.
today, so
So that'll be going out shortly, and we'll get him here to pick up the guitar, and then we've got another two. But these are things that I mean, these things don't exist. Like this room didn't exist until I had an amazing team, and now we've got an amazing team we go. But you also can have an amazing team, man. Don't be too scared either to just gee up on finding people. We've created umpteen amount of wee platforms, and I know, and I can just speak for myself, but I know Ian would be all right with it. Like if you've any questions, fire them in. Ian's gonna show us. So he's gonna bring some of the stuff as well. So
yeah, just a couple of selections of some of the stuff. So this is some of the things.
if I tidied my room.
He tidied his room, yeah. So I'll kind of bring these face
Your hand?
down. So I don't know in what particular order, but yeah, I'll start with this. So this is an early one. This is not that early, early 24.
Yeah.
So this is so one of my art styles that I like to do is cubism. I love cubism art, and this, as you know, I did quite a series of paintings and drawings and sketches of the theme of guitar and art, and particularly with jazz. So this is a cubist style, and I'd never tried it before. So I was trying this, and this is acrylic on
You just gave me an idea.
canvas. Yeah. What?
You just gave me an idea there.
Uh-huh.
I need that texted down when I have a.
See, that's a good thing. Get the
You
ideas
just gave
down.
me an idea, a proper. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's cubism, and that was like early
I
24.
remember that one, eh?
Yeah. So I did it quite a lot of. I still do it now with Hendrix kind
He's
of thing.
unreal, man. Everybody that comes in with the podcast is like, wow, man.
Yeah,
I
that.
think that is a photo.
Yeah. So the Hendrix, that was again another idea. It didn't actually start out like that. It started out as quite a loose piece as an idea, and I thought, no, I don't like that. So I kind of started it again, and I was going for.
That's exceptional. Like I've whipped it for in here, like, but it's
Yeah. So I was
a-
going for photorealism.
Yeah.
So that in total that was what, about 106 hours, and even down to the detail of the tiny diamonds on his ring on his finger, and the lamy on his velvet jacket, and the material. So the trousers are wool.
Yeah, they're brilliant. That
And
was-
so yeah, I was going for realism, and then his leather boots, and my favourite part is this 1960s wrought iron chair, particularly, and I like the chair particularly,
it's
and
the eyes, man. I just think
that's why I like portraits, because when I do portraits, now this is an odd thing.
all Hod and Jaggery too.
Yeah,
World.
yeah.
Imagination
So-
Station Network.
Portraits are either human or it's animal. Now, this is an odd, whether I'm odd in how I do it. So when I do animal art, the first thing I always do, because it's the first thing you look at in an animal, are its eyes. So I will always do the eyes on when I'm doing animal kind of portraits first. And sometimes I could spend hours. Like there's the tiger downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And one eye took 5 hours, just one eye. But when I do humans, I do the eyes last.
Aye.
It's a weird. I can't explain why I do it because it's more to do with as long as I know where the eye is and I know where the iris is,
Yeah.
like which way it's looking.
The first time you done that was well, no, everybody always digs me up in the videos because I don't finish the rabbit, but
Yeah,
that was 3 sessions on the eye,
yeah.
and
It's important with an animal,
yeah,
whether it's a bird, it's a mammal, whatever amphibian. Doesn't matter what it is. You always do the
captures
eyes are
it.
the
It's not.
first
It's the
thing.
essence of it.
The rest of it just builds around it. Whereas Hendrix,
Mm-hmm.
um, what did I do first on him? Oh, so I did his velvet
Aye,
velvet jacket and
trousers,
his
wasn't it?
haut lame, and then I moved on to his wool trousers. Then I did his boots. Then I did his shirt. Then I did his face. Then his hair. Then his eyes was the last thing, which is an odd thing. I can't explain
Aye.
why I do that. So
It's just great. Even the colours of the white to the dark at the bottom of the. You don't will be able to see this. Sorry, guys, on Spotify. You're more than welcome to come to 15 of them wind and come and see it. The darkness at the bottom of the painting to the light at the top.
well, this is actually it's a good point there
Mm-hmm.
because when you paint, and I've been actually this year with the students I've been teaching them about values. So when you're doing painting, it's very much about values, and values is basically the difference between the lightest and the darkest.
Mm-hmm.
And it, that, you know, you could paint the sky pink and the like grass blue. If the values are correct, it will still look absolutely correct. So this down here, this is what gives depth with your values. So the slight gradation, there's a slight cast shadow behind him, and this is all to do with value painting. So I paint in values, and it's a lot, and that's
Mm-hmm.
quite some of the time why I paint mono. And if you go back to when everybody was first starting out, you'll do pencil sketches. That's values.
Mm.
That's all that is. So you get darker bits and you get lighter bits and a little bit of shading. That's value, and you just translate that to paint. So yeah, that's a important thing. Okay, so this one's another realism. Now I'll explain something about what I do with this. So again, it's an unfinished
Oh, I like
piece.
that one.
So this is, I think it's a path, and every artist somehow paints boots or Converse. I've painted my boots, I think, which are downstairs.
And I literally paint boots, but
Yeah.
not this kind.
So I'll go for realism, and this one again is for realism. But this is a good example, and I do it with practically all of my paintings. I did it with Hendrix. I do that
Upside down.
upside down because you get a perspective on this that you don't see the other way, and it tends to look. You'll spot your mistakes straight away, and then it tends to look even more real.
That's real, man. It's that,
So-
do you see what I mean, though? Like, talent. That's his daughter's shoes.
Yeah, and I had to do. I've got to finish that one, but the dirt and that. But often when I'm painting, I'll turn it upside down because you spot. Oh, that's not quite right. That you don't. It's like you can't see the wood for the trees.
It's like when you put the phone, if you take a video and the camera's there, when you take your phone down, it reverses it.
Yes, that's
It
right.
puts
Yeah.
it back to normal, so you don't really.
You
the
don't
same-
really see. It's the same kind of thing. So, yeah, that's on canvas. This one, so this is actually from one of the classes, and we do lots of different styles in the classes. This is urban sketching. Now I wouldn't say unique, but I love painting on canvas. But I paint watercolors directly on the canvas, which not many people do.
I've never really seen anyone do that.
So, because I like the effect that you get, and you can actually work it more than on paper. You can overwork it, you can ruin it. But I like working on canvas because you can get a lot more depth in it. So this is urban sketching style, and this is all to do with pen and ink, and then just colours over the top. So it starts with like a sketch, quite a loose sketch in ink, like fountain pen ink or ink pens. As long as not the mistake I made when I got some ink pens for a glass and
Oh
they
my!
weren't waterproof.
People
Yeah,
still talk about that.
and I thought I've got these great pens for everybody, and then they started putting the watercolors on, and the ink started running.
Aye,
It was
there's
like,
no getting out of that. Like,
okay. So, okay, so this one's an interesting one. So I work mainly watercolors. When I first started getting into this again, I moved to acrylic, and then I wanted to start oil painting. Now I hadn't done an oil painting for oh god, 30 more than 30 years. So I thought, right, and again, this explains what I said at the beginning about finding something challenging, not doing. So this is the first oil painting I've done, and this is a Vietnamese artist. She's very good, and she's an oil painter. And this was actually a thumbnail on one of her YouTube videos where she was videoing her painting this. So I thought, well, I like that, and I thought, right, I've never done oil painting. This is going to be really challenging because I'm going to paint skin, which is difficult.
very difficult, man. That's
Very
unreal.
difficult. And the other thing was difficult was that she's got a French easel, which you and me both got these,
Yeah,
and the colour of the French easel is very similar to the colour of the skin.
yeah.
And I had to, when I was painting this, make sure that this appeared like wood and this appeared like skin. So these are when if you can see closely here, but these are just little marks when you're doing things like highlights in the hair. And sometimes when you look at paintings, you get close up and you think that's rubbish, but you're not supposed to look at paintings like that. You're supposed to stand back and you get that sense of realism. And these are just very basic marks, deceptively easy.
See? Deceptively easy.
Deceptively
to some
easy.
people.
You're not painting every strand of hair. You're just painting these highlights, which makes it appear where the light's coming from.
Brilliant.
And yeah, so this was a challenge, and yeah, it's a work in progress at the minute, but it's little touches. So that's my first oil painting in more than 30 years.
Real.
But again, that was like, well, I'm not going to do an oil painting that's easy. I want to do something which is a challenge. And again, that's the only way I'll learn to get back into oil painting, and I'm starting to get more into oil painting now. Okay, this one. So again, this is music based. I went to a concert recently in North Berwick with my daughter to see a French band called Air, and incredible concert. And that's I say I find music inspiring, and it's inspired me when I got back that I started learning some of the songs myself, particularly on the bass. And then I thought I want to do a picture of these two because they've got characterful faces. So I started this, and this was like the initial sketch.
Wow.
So he particularly has got a very characterful face, and the pose. I thought I liked the pose, the folded arms, and he's got quite a unique face as well. And this is again, I did an abstract kind of background, and then I use a technique for blocking in the darkest bit, but I then darken the darkest bit to tell me what is the darkest values on this, and that then guides you for doing the rest of the painting, because you could leave it like that and it almost looks realish. But once you get dark values in when you're painting, that's when you can picture where it's going. So watercolour is a prime example. Is you work from light to dark. So a watercolour painting doesn't reveal itself until the very end. So this is one of the reasons I like to work with when I do watercolors, because you can go dark first.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing acrylics and oils, you tend to do your darkest values first, and then you go dark to light. With acrylics and oils, and other mediums like the Johnny Lydon, which just sold, that was dark to light, but that was using pastels.
Wasn't
So your light value is always going to the top. So your lightest values are closest.
it? Mm.
But also your darkest values are closest, but not in terms of the dark, in terms of what's called saturation. So it's the saturation of the colour is always strongest the closer you are. Further away you get, colours fade into nothing. So yeah, this is done. This is oil. It's acrylic and oil. So the background is acrylic. This is an acrylic and oil underpainting on here. It's actually dry.
Nice.
Just guides us, and then I can finish it off. Yeah. So this is, again, this was, I get idea. I've done 2 of these, so I've got another one of these at home. Because I thought I want to do that a different way.
Prolific, man.
I just got to just got to do the idea, but again, always challenge yourself is the best thing. Even like with music, is, no matter what it is, just challenge yourself. If you think I can't do that, that's the worst thing you can say to yourself.
Everybody goes through that though, don't they? It's
Yeah.
like, I can't do that. You always go through that until it's done, and then you're like, wow.
But it'll end up as your way of doing it. That's the thing.
Style. Everybody develops their own wee style through time, don't it?
You develop it over time. I think some of my style is starting to come out eventually, but again, that
Including
takes...
that oil stuff. Your oil stuff is unreal. But
So,
listen,
yeah,
man,
so
it's been
there you go.
some journey, and Ian's only just getting started, man. Like I say, he's got a real job that he does, so we are blessed to have him not only in the team, man, but as part of the Jaguar 82 family. So, we could sit here and talk all day, but Ian's got stuff to do next door, and I've got to go and terrorise wee Jan because we've got work to do as well. But thank you very much for your time, Ian.
Thank you very much.
And guys, Ian also has an exhibition, his first solo exhibition, and that the news will be put out in, probably we'll do it in January time, and it's at Paxton House. We'll get more details out, so well done for that. And there's lots of other stuff for Ian coming. We're just
Yes, and I'm playing a live gig, Gala Shields, 20th of September at Mac Arts
don't know if
Centre.
this will go out before then.
Well,
I think,
if you were there,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Message.
If you're not, you've missed the show.
Aye.
But yeah, that's going to be
Look at his fingers, man.
Get me fingers.
Blooded his fingers.
Blooded me fingers, but there's a tip. So I've just coated my fingers. Don't do this in super glue to protect them.
It's brutal, man. Ian, before we go,
Yes.
I have a book here that I've been asking people to pick a page out and read. Like I say, this is an adult show anyway, so
Okay.
whatever page you feel, flick it and then just open one and read it out to us, and then show us it.
Okay. I've just opened it at random.
Right.
Okay. So it's breathe in, breathe out.
Right. Is that it? Oh, you got a clean one. You got a clean one. This is.
I was just random.
Right.
So yeah, breathe in and breathe out. Yeah.
So that is your. That's your end of the podcast. Is breathe in, breathe out, and this is from my wee book that I got as a gift. Nobody really has their shit together.
So I seem to pick a mind.
You seem to have your shit together, Ian. So listen, Ian, thank you very much for your time, man.
Thank you, sir.
It's precious. And listen, guys, like I say, if you've not heard your creative journey just yet, hang about. We've got lots more guests to come, and then you will. If you want to support Jaguar 82, we are a self-funding operation. So if you want to go to jaguar82.com, or if you've seen any of the paintings that Ian's done so far, and you want to either put a bid in, or you want any prints, reach out, man. That's what we do. But for me and the team, thank you very much for listening, and stay tuned for another episode every Sunday And then we have some. Can we mention? Aye. So then we have Christmas special episode, and we'll have a New Year one. But listen, if you do anything for yourself today, is like what Ian says, trust the process, man, and that includes life. So aye,
Okay.
have a great day, man.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Bye bye
Bye now.
now.
Bye.